Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads, it's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
Zane Martel realized things might have gotten out of hand, so he hurriedly decided to disappear from their sight.
Senior Gabriel Stone, Caleb Pierce, we have achieved our purpose today. Let's hide and retreat first.
But just as Zane Martel was prepared to leave with Gabriel Stone and Caleb Pierce, a cold voice rang out from the void.
Do you think you can leave after killing an elder of the expert level from our Godwill sect?
The void where the voice rang out continued to distort until an old man in his 80s left it.
Ha! Isn't this Stephen of Dark Wolf Hall who won first in the latest sect contest? You're promising, but unfortunately you didn't put that brain of yours to use as you had the guts to harm someone from my sect.
Behind the old man was a middle-aged man and a middle-aged woman who were also in the expert level. The old man was, of course, the first elder of the Godwill sect, Sebastian.
Sebastian, the person who gave the order to abduct Alora.
Zane Martel could feel Sebastian's extremely dangerous aura. Although these people were in the expert level, they were completely different from those in the expert level. Even the experts in the expert level from other sects changed their expressions when they saw Sebastian.
Gabriel Stone, it's been a while. When I heard you were released, I couldn't help but wonder who let you out. Also, I'm curious why you didn't choose to escape. If I were you, I'd have run as far as I could and never looked back again.
Gabriel Stone turned around and stared at Sebastian. He frowned and replied faintly,
Sebastian, why would I run? I won't go anywhere before I retrieve my actual body.
At this moment, Sebastian shifted his gaze to Zane Martel. His gaze moved lower, and his expression immediately became solemn. When he saw Beth lying motionless in a pool of blood, he suddenly burst into anger.
Did you kill Beth? Do you know what Beth means to me?
Sebastian's killing intent overflowed as he faced Gabriel Stone. Gabriel Stone remained silent, but Zane Martel stepped forward.
I killed her.
You killed her?
Sebastian frowned hard. The space around his body seemed distorted, but he did not immediately take action. Instead, he questioned Zane Martel.
What's the hatred between you and Beth? Why did you have to kill her? Do you know that she is my confidant? I don't care if you killed someone else. Now that you've killed Beth, not only you but your friends, your family, and all the people you know. They will be hunted down by the Godwill sect until the end of the world.
Sebastian's lips twitched. His eyes turned completely red as he released a low roar.
I must kill her because she is Purple Pole's spiritual body.
Sebastian was startled, thinking that he had heard it wrong.
What? What did you say? Because of the Purple Pole spiritual body.
He was infuriated and could no longer suppress the anger in his chest.
Brat, do you know how much effort I have spent to find someone with the Purple Pole spiritual body? You're causing trouble for me by killing the Purple Pole spiritual body I found. Go to hell. You must die.
As he spoke, Sebastian struck out his palm. The horrible power directly twisted the void, and the wild wind roared around them. It seemed that even the space was shattered. A palm print, which was extremely deathly, flew toward Zane Martel. Just as the palm was about to devour Zane Martel and kill him, a clear buzzing sound flashed through the void. An earth-shattering sword energy whizzed out from Gabriel Stone's sword, emitting a destructive sword vigor that was beyond anyone's reach. This sword vigor could overturn rivers and seas, even looking as if it could split heaven and earth. With a loud explosion, Sebastian's palm print was split in two from the middle. Everyone was stunned to see this. Sebastian, the absolute extreme of the expert level, was probably one of the strongest in the Godwill sect. Any ordinary master in the expert level was like an ant that could be crushed to death at will in front of Sebastian. However, Gabriel Stone could actually split Sebastian's attack apart with a single strike. Furthermore, Gabriel Stone was in the advanced level, so just how strong was he? They were extremely shocked, almost stupefied. Zane Martel and Caleb Pierce were also taken aback. Gabriel Stone's strength was far beyond their imagination. Sebastian's face was ashen and his teeth gnashed. His eyes flickered with a vicious light as if he was going to swallow Gabriel Stone alive. The forest seemed to hold its breath as Sebastian's eyes blazed with fury. Zane Martel stood firm, his heart pounding in his chest, knowing that this confrontation would not end peacefully. What would happen next? Could they escape the wrath of Sebastian? Or would this be their final stand? As the sound of approaching footsteps grew louder, the fate of Zane Martel and his companions hung in the balance, teetering on the edge of uncertainty. Gabriel Stone stood firm, eyes locked with Sebastian. The tension between them was palpable, a confrontation that had been brewing for years.
Gabriel Stone, this has nothing to do with you. We will settle the grudge between us someday. This damned bastard must die today. If you dare to stop me, you will die too.
Sebastian roared, his anger echoing through the void.
Ha ha ha, our grudge? There are too many grudges between us. I will ruin everything that is in favor of the Godwill sect. I must stop you from achieving your goals. Are you not satisfied to hear that? Come on, fight me. If you have what it takes, you wouldn't be wasting time roaring there.
Gabriel Stone laughed loudly, and then a sword vigor that could not be underestimated rose from his body. Even Sebastian had to step back when he saw the sword vigor. He seemed extremely fearful of Gabriel Stone. For some reason, he didn't dare fight with him. Sebastian knew he might not be able to defeat Gabriel Stone, although Gabriel Stone was only in the semi-expert level.
Well, in that case, I don't believe that you can protect him. Laura, Kevin Young, kill Stephen and his companion.
Yes, Elder.
Yes, Elder.
The middle-aged man and woman behind Sebastian nodded and flew toward Zane Martel. Their realms were not high, as they were only at the first stage of the expert level. However, their realms were not something that Zane Martel could rival at this moment.
How dare you?
Gabriel Stone was about to stop them, but at that moment Sebastian took action.
Your enemy is me. Are you trying to stop them? In your dreams?
Boom! A black fire lotus condensed in Sebastian's hand, giving off a dangerous aura, and then a breeze brushed past the area. The fire lotus began to expand rapidly and instantly bombarded Gabriel Stone. Seeing this, Gabriel Stone waved the long sword in his hand and resisted the attack with his sword energy. Swoosh! Swoosh! On the other side, without Gabriel Stone's interference, it was like a piece of cake for the two expert-level experts to take down Zane Martel.
Stephen, no one can protect you this time. If you give up resisting us, you might get to die more comfortably.
The middle-aged man named Kevin Young laughed out loud. His body flickered with light as he flew toward Zane Martel. Meanwhile, the woman named Laura rushed toward Caleb Pierce.
Old man, you should focus on fighting and killing me. Stop spurting nonsense. Do you think you can intimidate me?
Zane Martel's expression changed slightly as he frowned and coldly refuted.
Humph, you're still being stubborn when you're about to die. I won't kill you immediately. Let me use the most brutal method in the Godwill sect. I'll torture you in the cruelest way possible so that you'd be begging for me to end your life.
As he spoke, a layer of purple smoke appeared on his skin. There was a sizzling sound when the smoke touched the air. Someone among the crowd recognized the poisonous fog and exclaimed,
Poison fog, it's poisonous fog. I heard the Godwill sect has a cultivation method specializing in poison. It is extremely powerful. It seems that Stephen from Dark Wolf Hall will die here.
The forest seemed to hold its breath as Sebastian's eyes blazed with fury. Zane Martel stood firm, his heart pounding in his chest, knowing that this confrontation would not end peacefully. What would happen next? Could they escape the wrath of Sebastian, or would this be their final stand? As the sound of approaching footsteps grew louder, the fate of Zane Martel and his companions hung in the balance, teetering on the edge of uncertainty. In the heart of a chaotic battlefield, many felt a pang of pity for Zane Martel. They believed his fate was sealed, a young warrior doomed against an insurmountable foe. Despite Zane Martel's formidable potential and strength, he was still in the advanced level. Against the overwhelming power of someone in the expert level, what could he possibly do? Despair lingered in the air. Even Julian Flynn, a renowned figure on the Zora Genius list, would have fled in terror from such a formidable adversary. As Kevin Young charged at him with lethal intent, Zane Martel's expression shifted, yet he neither advanced to meet the attack nor turned to flee. He simply stood his ground, unmoving.
Is he paralyzed with fear? Usually he's so fierce against equal opponents, but now...
He should have run long ago. Standing there waiting for death, what a waste of talent.
Every year we lose geniuses like him who just don't know when to retreat.
Look at you, Zane Martel, scared stiff. You're useless. Against true power, all your struggles are meaningless.
Kevin Young's laughter echoed with cruel delight. his eyes gleaming with a fierce intensity.
True, you're right.
Kevin Young's laughter faltered, a frown creasing his brow.
What?
In the face of absolute strength, one's realm is just fictitious. You said it yourself. Now, I'll make you understand the meaning behind your words.
Without warning, a terrifying flame erupted from the back of Zane Martel's left hand, enveloping his entire body in an inferno. The flames drew everyone's attention, Gabriel Stone, Sebastian, and the onlookers alike. In Zane Martel's hand materialized a bow and arrow, ablaze with a golden red flame. It was the divine bow. The weapon's appearance sent a shockwave through the crowd. Its earth-shattering pressure made them feel insignificant, like mere drops in a vast ocean.
What is this? Why does it have such a terrifying aura?
An innate spirit treasure, a genuine energy artifact. The power is overwhelming.
Even Kevin Young halted, his confidence wavering. The corner of his mouth twitched involuntarily, and a fleeting thought of escape crossed his mind. But Zane Martel pulled the divine bow taut before he could act. The flame surged around him, drawing upon his vital force, extracting a fifth of his energy in an instant. The battlefield was charged with tension as Zane Martel, standing his ground, faced the deadly charge of Kevin Young. Then, in a flash of golden light, an arrow streaked through the void like a lightning bolt. The arrow, surrounded by the shadow of a three-legged golden crow, flew directly at Kevin Young, striking him squarely.
What is this flame? Save me. First Elder, quick. Save me quickly, I want.
Kevin Young's screams of agony filled the air as the flames consumed him, turning his body into charcoal. Zane Martel swiftly rolled up Kevin Young's charred corpse, devouring all his vital energy, blood ki, and talent. From Kevin Young's pursuit of Zane Martel to his fiery demise, only a dozen seconds had passed. The situation had completely reversed.
What the hell?
Dead? Is Kevin Young dead?
The crowd was dumbfounded. Some widened their eyes so much that their eyeballs seemed ready to pop out. They were in shock, unable to believe what they had just witnessed. Zane Martel, in the advanced level, had killed someone in the expert level. It was the most unbelievable thing since the founding of Eastern Palm. The calmest person present was Caleb Pierce. Although his eyes were wide open in shock, it wasn't the first time he had witnessed such a scene. A similar event had occurred in the peace negotiation hall recently, where Zane Martel, merely pulling the bowstring of the divine bow, had lost all his vital energy and was seriously injured. Now, Zane Martel, already in the advanced level, possessed far more vital energy than before. Zane Martel once again pulled the divine bow, this time pointing it at Laura, the middle-aged woman, who was still stunned by the earlier scene. She immediately snapped to her senses, feeling a chill run down her spine. A deathly aura hovered in her chest. Having witnessed Kevin Young's swift demise, she had no intention of staying. Without hesitation, Laura turned and fled, transforming into an arc of light.
Isn't it a little too late to think about fleeing now?
The arrow left Zane Martel's hand, accompanied by the screech of the three-legged golden crow. It pierced through Laura's heart, killing her instantly. Zane Martel had killed another expert in the expert level with a simple flip of his hand. The divine bow was truly terrifying.
Is this bow and arrow the same legendary divine weapon of death?
What? Death Zane Martel? How is this possible? How could Zane Martel be here?
Immediately, the crowd erupted in exclamations and discussions. They stared at Zane Martel as if he were a judge of life and death, too fearful to offend him. The battlefield lay in stunned silence, leaving everyone to wonder what Zane Martel's next move would be. What terrifying power did he truly possess? The answers remained shrouded in the suspense of the moment. The battlefield crackled with tension. Zane Martel, having just killed a martial artist in the expert level with one move, stood as a figure of sheer terror. Whispers spread like wildfire among the onlookers.
It's definitely Zane Martel. I was in the peace negotiation hall back then. This bow and arrow are unforgettable. I could recognize them even if they turned to ashes.
Oh my, it's really Death Zane Martel.
Really? He doesn't look like Zane Martel at all.
It's not that hard for someone in the advanced level to change their appearance. Also, the unique mask from Dark Wolf Hall can do that too.
Zane Martel remained silent amidst the growing doubt. Meanwhile, Sebastian's face turned livid, even as he continued fighting Gabriel Stone. He had just witnessed two of his subordinates fall to a mere advanced-level martial artist. Rage consumed him.
Gabriel Stone, get lost.
Haha. Are you mad because you're embarrassed? Typical losers from Godwill sect. Two expert-level martial artists couldn't even scratch someone from the advanced level.
Gabriel Stone easily dodged Sebastian's attack, a faint smile on his lips. Despite his taunts, Gabriel Stone was equally taken aback.
This Zane Martel has so many tricks up his sleeve, I can't even figure out his bow and arrow. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I wouldn't have survived his attacks if I were an ordinary expert-level martial artist. Zane Martel's future is limitless.
Sebastian, seething with fury, threw a powerful punch that pushed Gabriel Stone back. His fierce glare fixed on Zane Martel. He spoke slowly, each word dripping with venom.
Answer me, who are you? Are you Zane Martel?
Sebastian, though of high status and seldom leaving his seclusion, was well acquainted with Zane Martel's name. When he had ordered Albert to capture Huang Alora, Zane Martel had nearly killed Albert in the rescue attempt. Sebastian had been skeptical at first, but when Albert returned 3 months later, severely injured, he had no choice but to acknowledge Zane Martel's strength. He's seen an open battlefield under a darkened sky. The tension is palpable as two formidable warriors stand off, surrounded by a large crowd. The air is thick with anticipation and the distant sound of rustling leaves. The narrator speaks in a deep, engaging tone. The air crackled with unspoken tension as Zane Martel, a figure of legend and dread, stood with a faint smile. He had chosen to reveal his true identity, and there was no turning back now. Before him, Sebastian, an imposing figure, was visibly shaken. The battlefield, once a serene expanse under the darkened sky, now buzzed with the undercurrents of an imminent clash. The whispers among the crowd were hushed, each breath held in anticipation of the unfolding drama.
Zane Martel, you are Zane Martel. How dare you show your face here? In the Imperial capital of all places.
Zane Martel's smile grew, his voice laced with mockery. The history between these two men was one of blood and betrayal, a tapestry woven with threads of enmity that stretched back through the years. The moment hung heavy, a culmination of fates long intertwined. Zane's heart pounded, a steady rhythm that belied his outward calm.
Old man, haven't you heard my name? Remember when you captured Alora for the Godwill sect? I've been dreaming of this moment. Don't you recognize me?
Sebastian's anger was a palpable force. His body shook and his face contorted with rage. The memories of past conflicts flashed through his mind, each one stoking the fires of his fury. He saw the faces of those he had wronged, the lives he had ruined, all converging in the figure of Zane Martel standing defiantly before him.
You insolent brat. Not only did you dare to sneak into Eastern Palm, but now you boldly walk into the Imperial capital. Ridiculous.
Zane Martel's smile never wavered. His voice was steady, each word a dagger. The weight of his words cut through the tension, piercing the hearts of those who listened. His mind raced back to the days of training, the countless hours spent honing his skills for this very confrontation. The stakes were high, and failure was not an option.
Not only that, I took first place in the sect contest right under your noses. I defeated your so-called genius, Donovan. Seems like the Godwill sect only produces fools. Why don't you donate your eyes to the country since you clearly don't use them?
The crowd stifled their laughter, afraid to openly mock Sebastian. The revelation of Zane Martel's identity sent shockwaves through them. Each whisper was a ripple in the sea of onlookers, spreading the incredulity and fear. The legend of Zane Martel had always been shrouded in mystery, and now standing before them, he was a tangible force of nature.
Zane Martel, he's really Zane Martel, the man who terrified the Godwill sect and all of Eastern Palm.
Sebastian's fury reached a boiling point. His eyes burned with hatred. The years of resentment and bitterness had culminated in this explosive moment. He had built his power on the backs of those he subjugated, and now he faced the living embodiment of his nightmares. His vision narrowed, focusing solely on Zane, a red haze of anger clouding his judgment.
Great, just great. You came here to die. I'll kill you myself. And when I'm done, I'll tell Alora the true meaning of suffering.
With a dramatic flourish, Sebastian summoned a black lotus mark into the sky. It exploded, signaling the Godwill sect. The black petals spread across the sky like a dark omen, a harbinger of the chaos to come. The The crowd gasped, the spectacle cementing the gravity of the situation. The mark was a call to arms, a declaration of war against the very essence of defiance that Zane represented.
Sebastian summoning the entire sect. We need to get out of here.
Dozens, then hundreds of God Will Sect disciples, experts in their own right, filled the sky. Their combined auras were overwhelming. The oppressive force of their presence bore down on the battlefield, each disciple a beacon of menace. The sky seemed to darken further, the weight of impending doom casting long shadows over the land. The sound of their synchronized movements was like thunder, a prelude to the storm of battle.
Gabriel Stone, Zane Martell. This is the Imperial capital, our territory. Capture him, even if you must kill him.
Thousands of voices responded in unison, shaking the very earth. The ground trembled beneath their collective resolve, each shout a testament to their loyalty and fear. The God Will Sect had mobilized its full might, a tidal wave of destruction aimed squarely at Zane and his allies. The air was thick with the scent of ozone, the prelude to violent conflict. Zane Martell, Gabriel Stone, and Caleb Pierce stood their ground, vastly outnumbered. Zane Martell's mind raced for a solution. He had power, but could he face thousands? His thoughts were a whirlwind of strategies and possibilities, each one more desperate than the last. The faces of his friends, their determination mirroring his own, steeled his resolve. They had come too far, sacrificed too much to falter now.
Kill.
A man with a spear lunged at Zane Martell, who dodged and counterattacked with the sky-killing sword. One strike, one kill. Zane Martell absorbed the man's energy, feeling his own strength surge. The rush of power was intoxicating. Each enemy felled, adding to his growing might. He moved with the grace of a predator, every motion precise and deadly. Zane Martell grew stronger with each enemy he felled. The sword in his hand danced, slicing through foes with lethal precision. The battlefield was a symphony of violence, each clash a note in the macabre melody. Blood and sweat mingled, the cries of the fallen a grim chorus. Zane's heart pounded in his chest, a relentless drumbeat driving him forward.
We can't hold them all off forever.
We need a plan.
Zane Martell's eyes blazed with a deadly light. He fought like a man possessed, the bodies piling up around him. But the God Will Sect was relentless. 50 experts gathered, channeling their power into a single devastating attack. The air around them crackled with raw energy, the sheer force of their combined power, a palpable threat. Zane could feel the pressure mounting, the weight of their assault pressing down on him like a physical force.
Set up the formation, now!
A massive sword shadow formed in the sky, its sheer size tearing the air itself. It charged at Zane Martell, an unstoppable force. The sight was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a testament to the destructive potential of the God Will Sect. The ground shook as the shadow descended, a harbinger of death and devastation. Zane braced himself, every muscle tensed in anticipation of the clash.
Mission sword, suppress and kill.
The mission sword seal appeared, its shadow slicing the sky. The two colossal swords clashed, the impact shattering the very fabric of reality. The sound was deafening, a cataclysmic roar that echoed across the battlefield. The force of the collision sent shockwaves through the air, the ground beneath them splintering and cracking. The energy released was blinding, a radiant burst that seared the retinas of all who witnessed it. As the dust settled, the battlefield was silent for a heartbeat. Then the silence was shattered by the murmurs of the crowd, their voices rising in a cacophony of disbelief and awe. The clash had left a scar on the land, a testament to the ferocity of the battle. Zane stood amidst the wreckage, his breath coming in ragged gasps, his body battered but unbowed. He had survived, but the fight was far from over. What will become of Zane Martell? Will he survive this overwhelming onslaught? The answer lies just beyond the horizon,